And the best thing you can do, both for your own mental space and then for the world at large, is to ignore it. Don't respond. Never respond to negative reviews.
Leaders Press is a USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling press with traditional distribution via Simon Schuster. Thanks to their work, more than 500 entrepreneurs have been able to share their stories with the world, and 133 of their authors have become USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling authors in their own right. If you'd like to discover which type of book would best suit you, go to leaderspress.com/reveal.
Welcome to the Leaders Get Published podcast. I'm Alinka Rutkowska, CEO of Leaders Press, together with our COO, Deborah Brannon. And today we will be talking about getting book reviews. So this is a pretty big subject and there's a lot to talk about. So let's frame it. Deborah, can you put this in context, please?
Absolutely. So, book reviews are extremely important for promoting your book and attracting new readers. So what we want to discuss with you today is the importance of professional reviews a little bit, but especially reader reviews. And then we want to follow that up with just a little bit about how you can deal with any negative reviews that might come your way as you go through this process and this journey.
Amazing. Go for it.
Okay. So let's dive into the difference between professional reviews and reader reviews. So professional reviews are those that you might seek out, especially before publication, to build up a buzz about your book coming out. So you might submit like an early review copy of your book to various publications. Like, if you want to go for the big ones, you might go for the New York Times or the LA Book Review. But you might also go smaller and look for more niche magazines that you might want to see if they'll publish a review of your book, or even like some of the bigger book blogger review sites, especially in your genre, that might get some traction with your audience and inspire people to pre-order your book and then buy it as soon as it comes out. So that's something that you really want to focus on before publication. But what do you do post-publication? Like once your book has come out, how do you keep the momentum, the interest in the book being bought by new readers and read by new readers? And the answer to that is really reader reviews. You want to make every person who picks up your book a reviewer, if at all possible, especially on online retailer sites. So we've noticed that on Amazon, if your book gets a good number of reviews, and generally I'd say like a good rule of thumb is you want to shoot for 50 user reviews, that can build kind of a self-sustaining momentum to get people interested in your book and to ensure that they're going to pick up your book when they read your blurb and then see, oh, this book has got like 54 reviews. That's interesting, especially if those reviews get you kind of a solid number of stars, right? So how do we make these readers review these books? Because I know it can be difficult. People want to read the books, but they don't want to take the time to put their thoughts in order and then type those thoughts into a box and then to post that to the internet. So
I'll interject here. Something that I did with my first book, just an observation, the numbers. I remember back in 2010, when I published my first book, I sold about 2,000 copies. And at that point, I remember there were 20 reviews.
Wow.
20, yeah, so that was about 1 per 100 sold, more or less. So, if you're not going to ask, it's going to build up really slowly.
Exactly. Like it's not something you can leave to passive means. Like you definitely do need to proactively seek out these reviews. And I think Alinka, is it generally like 2% that you can kind of expect as a passive response rate? Like if you're not putting effort into it, about 2% of the people.
Like, it's 20 divided by 2,000 is 1%, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It's a really low rate of return if you don't put that extra effort into it. So you definitely want to get that percentage much higher to ensure that you're getting a great return on the number of readers that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially since they're going to make new readers for you. So methods that you can employ to get more reviews on your books. The first one is the most obvious, and that's to just ask for reviews. Like ask and ye shall receive, right?
Yeah.
So number one, whatever platform you have, like if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you have your own mailing list that you've got people subscribed to, when you mention, hey, my book has just come out, it's on sale, it's great, here's what like the advanced reviews are saying, ask for the review in that message. Say, please take a few minutes just to leave a review for me once you finish. That would really help me out. Because your avid readers want to help you. They want your career to be nice. They'll help you out. Now, I mentioned earlier that, a lot of people, they're fighting against inertia. Like they don't want to take the time to have to put their thoughts into words and then post that to the internet. So you can emphasize in your messaging, it does not have to be elaborate. It does not have to be involved. It can just be like 2 sentences, just that you enjoyed it and what you enjoyed about it. You don't have to get crazy in depth. You don't have to sound academic. You don't have to sound sophisticated. You just have to give your honest opinion about the book, hopefully that they enjoyed it, and then post that onto their favorite retailer. They don't even have to do more than one. If they want to, great. They can post the review to Amazon, to Barnes & Noble, to whatever indie site and really help you out. But at least just one review, couple of sentences, takes them 5 minutes and they're done. And you've got a review and they can feel great about supporting your career and supporting your ability to write more books. So yeah, ask for the review is our number one tactic for getting those reviews in the first place.
Yeah, probably a good rule of thumb is to ask for an honest review and not say, if you give me 5 stars, write it, otherwise don't. That's just to be ethical when you're doing it.
Exactly. And, trying to play the game like that, trying to insist that they only give you positive reviews can also turn off readers. So then instead of having a loyal reader, you might have somebody who's soured on you as an author, and then they're not supporting you anymore. And maybe even they talk about you in a negative way, and you don't want that. So yes, always ask for an honest review. And remember as well that you cannot trade things for reviews. So you'll notice this in like pretty much every retailer, I think, has fine print that says you cannot trade like gift cards or anything for reviews. So all you can do is just ask for an honest review, make it as easy as possible for them to leave the review, encourage them that they only have to leave a couple of sentences, and there you go.
But that's relatively new. I remember a couple of years ago that was still a possibility, and I even had a course that I created. It was called 100 Reviews in 3 Days. And the way I accomplished that was getting those reviewers ahead of time on board and then basically asking them to paste their review on the day of launch and reward them with an incentive. So that was an amazing tool, which now has gone away. So now you can basically only give them the book to review. And for some people who are so used to ebooks being offered as a review copy, actually sending them a paperback could be more of an incentive for them to review.
That's very true. And just for book reviewers these days, the FTC just made a rule that they have to disclose if they were given a copy of the book. So you'll see some people will post next to their review, I was given a copy of the book to provide an honest review, and then they'll share their review. So yeah, Alinka is right. And I definitely in years past had participated in posting reviews in return for something fun, like a different book from the author or something like that. But yeah, it's a shifting landscape. Like you'll find that the rules periodically change. And today that is one, all you can offer in exchange is just a copy of the book that itself for them to read. And that's it. I really like the idea of sending a paperback book though. That's a great one. So in order to ask your readers to review your book, you need to have a way to ask them. So another tactic for making sure you can get reviews is to actually build your platform. You need an author platform online. You need this anyway to have a great place to sell your books from and to have readers be able to find you, sign up for your mailing list. So you have this positive feedback loop of getting a bigger audience and then being able to reach them. So we definitely recommend building a mailing list. Mailing lists are gold. Actually having direct access to people's inbox is one of the best things you can have when you're trying to do outreach for your writing. After that, we recommend building some social media, but you want to target which social media you engage in. Like you don't want to do all of them. That's just going to spread you too thin, too many different systems to learn and how they do things. So just pick one or two that are important to your genre, really. So like TikTok, I think there's like a big book community on TikTok now, but I think it's mainly focused around like young adult books. So for example, for nonfiction books, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on TikTok. Twitter is often good for building up a Twitter following as an author, especially since it has such a wide range of people on it, but then it has hashtags that you can get involved in. It's pretty easy to target your messaging just to your specific audience. But be aware that when you do get involved in social media, it's going to involve a time investment that you have to spend outside of your writing and outside of your promotion, because you have to be a real person involved, providing real value to your readers and not just selling them stuff. So keep that in mind. That when you build up your social media, you have to actually build it up as just a real person before you can spend just a little bit of time promoting your work and trying to get them to give you those reviews. All right, what other tactics do we have? We can do, we mentioned book bloggers before, especially in the context of getting professional reviews. But there are tons of smaller book bloggers out there who would love to get a free book and who aren't like in those big leagues yet. So they can be a really good resource if you send them a copy of the book and ask for them to review it. Just, be aware that they might have a long schedule ahead of them. So you might have to wait a little bit before they can publish a review of your book. You could do giveaways of your book. I think Goodreads, for example, library thing as well, these different websites that will let you shelve your books and like categorize your book collection. They'll let you run giveaways as a publisher or as an author. And that can be a great way for new readers to discover your book and then to be inspired to leave a review because, you already know that they categorize their library on this website. So they're probably going to proactively be interested in leaving a review anyway. So that's a great way to do it. Oh, another great way is if you look on Amazon, there is a way to look at the top reviewers and you can actually break that down by category. So you can get into the top reviewers in books and then you can even get into the top reviewers in specific genres of books. So you can go look there. I think that Amazon used to give contact information for these people if they agreed to it. But they might have stopped doing that at this point. Alinka, is that what we discovered?
It's worth double checking anything we say about Amazon if you listen to this a little bit, after the publication date, because things change, as you've noticed. But I remember that these top reviewers, that's basically an ecosystem of their own, and they would compete with one another who has more reviews because they do get brownie points for it. And I don't know what they're getting right now because these things change. Just like you could incentivize reviews now you can't incentivize reviews. You can still incentivize purchases, which is great. So I hope it will stay that way. But basically things change all the time, so it makes sense to check. But if you have somebody who's been reviewing for years, they're probably fond of books, so I think they're safe bet to reach out to.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so if they don't have the contact information, what they can search for the person's name, maybe find if they have a website that they could reach out through and contact them that way, just if they want to get a review from that person. Maybe do a little bit of internet sleuthing, but not in a creepy way. Make sure it doesn't turn into internet stalking. So,
exactly.
So anyway, these are some of the top methods to use to get more reviews on your books. Number one, just ask, reach out to various book bloggers, use your social media to do more outreach, and then you can do some giveaways as well on these various sites to attract more interest. Beyond that, so once you start getting reviews, what do you do with them? I mean, obviously they're already helping you passively because they're on the retailer page. So new readers can see that your book has gotten enough interest to get reviews. But you can use them beyond that. You can quote pieces of reviews on your blog, on your social media, in your mailing list emails, just to highlight what a reader thought of the book. And I mean, that's free advertising copy that you did not have to write. All you had to do was select it and then just put it in a pretty graphic, or just quote it in your tweet or your email, and ta-da, you've already got someone promoting your book for you. Basically, you can exploit that to help drive new readers. That's one of the best ways you can use those existing reviews. There you go. Negative reviews. They happen, especially when you are going to focus on asking for honest reviews, as you always should. So it's inevitable. I mean, not everybody has the same interests. Not everybody has the same taste. So some people are going to end up giving you a negative review, and it's going to hurt and you're going to be upset. But just remember, it's just one opinion. It's just one opinion. It's just one person's opinion out there. And you've got plenty of good reviews, hopefully, so far. So how do you handle that negative review?
Yeah, probably you could just, look for you could probably think that now you're, a terrible author, a terrible person, and do not deserve to walk on this planet, right? If somebody writes something negative about you. So I'm exaggerating just to show you how insignificant it is that somebody posts an opinion of your book that is negative, because just go to any book that you love and the author you respect and see how many negative reviews are out there. I think it's a really good exercise in self-confidence and self-esteem to just be able to handle that.
Yeah, don't self-destruct. Don't freak out. Don't take it personally. I mean, I know it feels personal because you poured your heart and your soul and your mind into this book that you wrote, but don't take it personally. Really don't. And the best thing you can do, both for your own mental space and then for the world at large, is to ignore it. Don't respond. Never respond to negative reviews. Do not engage with people who leave you negative reviews. Just leave it alone. That's it. Yeah. Just move on to the next. All right. So that is what we had to say about both looking for reviews, how to use them, and then what to do with negative reviews. Did you have anything to add, Alinka, to what we've covered so far?
I think it's great to have a target for the number of reviews that you want and sort of see how it's going, how many you're getting, and then calibrate to that. So if you're doing some sort of outreach and you see, okay, this is bringing me 5 reviews a week, then you can say I'm going to need 10 weeks to get to 50. Or if you want to have that number faster, then you'll maybe double your outreach or try another tactic. But 50 is a great number to aim at, and totally doable. So keep going and keep looking for people who will want to review your book. And then those reviews will bring that social proof that the other readers who will come to check out your book will need in order to get it. So it does become a huge asset for you.
There's also a point, kind of a critical mass, where you accrue enough reviews that they start generating their own new reviews. So, you get more and more readers, people see like, oh, there are already these reviews left, and then they're inspired to respond to themselves. So you want to make your target number, hopefully something near that will start kind of self-sustaining a little bit and attracting new reviews.
Phenomenal.
50 is a good starter number. Yep.
Yeah. So call to action from this podcast, go get your reviews.
Yes. All right.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you for listening. This has been the Leaders Get Published podcast, brought to you by Leaders Press. Don't miss another episode, and subscribe today at leaderspress.com/subscribe. And if you'd like to discover which type of book you should write, go to leaderspress.com/reveal.